Kyle Kulinski had an interesting take. Now, we're having a discussion about who's going to be Bernie Sanders as vice president. A very pressing and very relevant question, of course. And he sent out a tweet saying, "The role for VP historically is attack dog. I honestly believe she's the only one who would punch back in either direction. He should pick her. He'll get crap from the media, but who cares? When don't they give him crap?" So that is his take. His belief is that Tulsi Gabbard should be his vice president because she would be a good attack dog. Now, I'm not sure if the role for VP historically is, quote, attack dog. I'm not aware of that, although that may just be because I don't know. But I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think that Tulsi Gabbard being the vice president is a good idea for a couple of reasons. A, she's polling at about 1 to 2 points in the Democratic primary right now. So that doesn't really offer much. But also, I would have to say that, and he already preemptively sort of rebuts this, which is the idea that I believe, which is that the media will so nonstop smear Bernie Sanders with all of the Tulsi Gabbard bullshit, whether it be, oh, she's a Russian asset, she loves Assad, or whatever garbage that they shell out. It's going to be literally nonstop. And it's like, why would you burden yourself with something like that? Like, we've got a serious campaign here that we could win, and you're talking about adding on this entire, massive, just snowball of shit. There's no reason to. It's like starting a marathon, you're about to run, you grab a pick or a hammer, and you just hit the shit out of your leg multiple times. You know what I mean? Like, why would you do that? That's so counterintuitive and just so dumb. It's just a dumb decision. And then also, it's going to make it more difficult for the Hillaryites, once Bernie Sanders is elected, for them to vote for Bernie Sanders. Okay, we want to try to get all voters to vote for Bernie Sanders. And so, through all of that, right, all of the smears that she's going to bring on, in addition to the suppressing of the Karen vote, right? What does she bring to counteract to that? Now, some of you guys may say, oh, she has a lot of appeal amongst people who are Republicans and independents. Yeah, but, it's appeal, but do you really believe that Republicans are going to vote for Tulsi Gabbard as a vice president over Donald Trump as a Republican? You'd have to be very naive and very unaware of how our politics and Republicans voting goes. Republicans always vote for the Republican. Republicans may fawn over Tulsi Gabbard, and although, them doing that should kind of tell you about who Tulsi Gabbard is kind of as well. But, they will sit down and vote for whoever the candidate, especially Donald Trump. The party is literally a nonstop defense of Donald Trump at this point. They went from pretending like, oh, Donald Trump's not the majority, and then they flipped into being this just hyperdrive, all day long defense mechanism. Defend Donald Trump at every turn. That's what they did, right? So, they're going to vote for Donald Trump. They're not going to vote for a Tulsi ticket because Tulsi is the VP and Bernie's the president. No, that's not going to happen. And I'm not aware of any massive independent appeal she has. The guy with the independent appeal is Bernie Sanders. So if you already have someone with all of that appeal, the appeal with independents, and I would say some with Republicans, some of them, why would you need to add on Tulsi Gabbard? It doesn't really make sense. And so with all of that, my thing is like, okay, we diversify the ticket, which you'd be doing with Tulsi too, to be fair. But I think good picks for vice president right now look to be Nina Turner or Barbara Lee. Now, Barbara Lee, ironically, I don't know if that's irony or coincidence, she actually has the anti-war chops that a lot of people think Tulsi Gabbard has, which is she was literally the only person in the House to vote against the authorization of use for military force, which is the rubber stamp for the president to go in anywhere in the mission of fighting terrorism in 2001, okay? So she's obviously got massive chops. She's a progressive. Why did she endorse Kamala Harris? I don't know. I can't explain that to you. I have no clue. Considering her record and then that, it's still mind-boggling to this day. I don't know. She would be a very good pick. She's a black woman, obviously. And then Nina Turner as well. And you may be like, wait, but hold on. But what do they offer to the table? What do they bring to the table? Well, they bring a diversity to the table. There's having a black woman, and they're both obviously very qualified and very great candidates. But also, it's sort of this addition by subtraction type of thing. It's like it's like the Celtics getting rid of Kyrie Irving, how much better they got, because Kyrie was a cancer and everything, and it wasn't working out. It's this sort of addition by subtraction type of thing. So if you put in Tulsi Gabbard, it's going to take votes away. If you put in Nina Turner, at the worst case scenario, they're neutral, okay, which means that nothing will be taken away, which means they would be a better pick than Tulsi Gabbard, except I think that they also add, because I do think that, like Nina Turner, Barbara Lee will have some independent appeal. But we don't need that. We just need a good vice presidential candidate who won't take away from Bernie Sanders. And we need one, because Bernie already has the independent crossover appeal. He already has that. So we don't need any more of that. It'd be cool if we could get more of that. But obviously we don't have that, pick, okay, who's perfect, all right? I think the best choices we've got are Nina Turner and Barbara Lee. And I think that they would be monumentally better picks than Tulsi Gabbard for vice president. That's just my opinion. You may disagree. And also, I do want to mention just that, some people do have questions about Tulsi Gabbard's record. There are a couple things that people are a little bit worried about. Her ties to Narendra Modi and her former position on torture and her vote on Syrian refugees. There's stuff that people are a bit concerned about, all right? There's definitely stuff that people are a bit concerned about. So there's that as well. And I just think it would be a really, really stupid idea to take. I mean, if he picks Tulsi Gabbard, he's torpedoing his campaign. Seriously. And I don't know why he would do that. I think Bernie is way too smart to do that. But that's just my opinion. Let me know if you disagree. I'd like to hear why. And hopefully it's stuff that I haven't already heard.